It's the Spiwe Show, an idea exchange empowering us to live well, live fully, and love deeply. And now, here's our host, Spiwe.
Hi there, and welcome to the Spiwe Show. Today, the topic of our conversation is excellence in education. And to help me talk about that, and this is actually part of our career profile series, to help me talk about that is esteemed Assistant Dean of the University of St. Thomas College of Business, which is called the Opus College of Business, Bill Woodson. Bill, welcome to the Spiwe Show.
Spiwe, thank you for the invitation. A pleasure to be here.
So let's start with a little bit about the University of St. Thomas.
Okay. Well, the University of St. Thomas is the Minnesota's largest private university. We opened our first graduate business program in 1974, so we're also one of the oldest schools of graduate business education. We are also the only private university that has AACSB accreditation, which is a specialized business accreditation, and we have one of the largest business programs in the state with over 1,300 graduate business students currently.
I went to a high school called the Dominican Convent. And it was run by German Catholic nuns. Mm-hmm. One of the stigmas associated with that school, and I actually went to law school at the University of Dayton, which is another private Catholic university.
It is.
And the stigma is these schools must surely be extremely conservative, very parochial, and they must also be, worst of all, very expensive. Is that something that the University of St. Thomas deals with, and is it true?
Okay. I think absolutely there's a perception that a Catholic institution is going to be more conservative and perhaps private institutions are going to be more expensive. I think those are misperceptions to some extent. I think especially around the latter. I think, very much value service to the community, and we very much value breadth of perspective. And so we actively attract students from all political backgrounds, all ethnic backgrounds. We have a very large international community that's a part of the college as a whole, and particularly in the business school, the full-time program especially. There's also a lot of engagement with the community and with outreach, and a lot of the students that we attract are students who have a special interest in issues like the environment, in community justice, and in ethics, as well as the traditional business disciplines of marketing and finance and accounting.
What other disciplines are at the University of St. Thomas besides this happens to be the Graduate College of Business too? Is this for graduate students? Do I understand that?
We have actually one of the largest undergraduate business programs in the state as well. We have 105 full-time tenure-track faculty who serve both the undergraduate business and graduate business programs. In addition to the undergraduate program business, we have a total of 7 different graduate business programs. 4 of those graduate business programs are MBA programs. So we have the evening MBA program, which is a part-time program. It's our largest and probably best known graduate business program. It's also our oldest graduate business program that started in 1974. But we have 3 other MBA programs. One of them is a full-time program. It's fairly new. It started in 2003. And it's quickly establishing a reputation for itself, not only for excellence in terms of graduate options in the state, but also increasingly around the country. We also have 3 non-MBA graduate business programs, a master's in business communications, a master's in real estate, and we also have a master's of accountancy.
Besides business, what other graduate programs do you have at the University of St. Thomas?
Well, it's almost too many to count. I think the show might not be long enough to
Really?
count them all, but we have masters in everything from engineering to theology to software programming to a wide range of options in graduate education, including the Doctor of Education for leadership, for educational leadership, and for just a wide range of things, psychology. So we have a pretty broad offering. We're a comprehensive university.
Why St. Thomas? What is the value of a St. Thomas education compared to anywhere else that I might go to if I was thinking of coming to school?
Well, I think a lot of times people feel like, and I'm going to speak more specifically around the MBA options because that's what I'm most familiar with, but we can also touch on other areas as well. I think a lot of times people think about graduate business education and they think about either a small select group of very large programs that typically are in very large institutions and don't offer a lot of personalized engagement and perhaps don't even have that space for connecting on a personal basis with the faculty, that don't have a sense of collegiality and sort of shared purpose, or they have an option of maybe very small business programs that maybe don't really have the breadth and depth of the curriculum or the credentialing of the faculty or the recognition on a national basis. And I think that St. Thomas really offers the best of both worlds. We have a program that is, the class sizes are very small and intimate. We have typically 35 students per class in the full-time MBA program. And students have a chance to get to know their faculty the faculty often, know the names of all the students, and they may give out, as addition to an email address, a home phone number for because we have that level of interaction between the faculty and the students.
I noticed that as we were coming up, there were people who saw you and they were able to recognize you on a name basis, and you knew who they were.
Yeah, it's I think it's what makes this program special is that we really do value that personal connection with our students, and we encourage that sense of community amongst the students as well. And I think at one point we had an advertising campaign that I still think distinguishes what makes us special. We talk about get connected, and we talk about competing themes or things that seem to conflict. Like we talk about compete or collaborate. Well, how can you connect those two? We talk about get connected, connect those ideas of learning how to be prepared for a competitive marketplace, but learn how to collaborate with your colleagues and eventually with your coworkers. And I think that makes our program a little bit different. And the employers who hire our students say the same, that they find students that are well prepared in the primary disciplines, that have practical experience, are sharp, communicate well, but also that have a different sense, that bring a sense of valuing teamwork and having a spirit of collaboration. And I think that's one of the things that makes our program and our students special.
I chose the title of this show because of your mission. What is the mission of the College of Business?
Our mission is excellence in educating highly principled global business leaders. And that really speaks, every word of that mission is really very important. We talk about excellence because just good enough is not good enough. And we really want to, I think in how we execute our program, we really strive for true excellence in everything that we do, and we encourage our students to strive for that excellence as well. And we talk about highly principled global business leaders, highly principled professionals who will be comfortable making hard choices and making choices that reflect not only the wisdom from their disciplines in the marketing, finance, operations, human resources, accounting, but also reflects their personal values. And I think that that's something that the business world sometimes, in the past, especially as we look at Wall Street and Enron and Global Crossings and these various just failures to remember that while pursuing sustainable business models, one also has to look at creating value that really is meaningful as well, and that there are ethical considerations that must be considered even in every decision, and that sometimes short-term profitability isn't the only goal.
How do you teach ethics? How do you inculcate this idea of principle and ethics into the curriculum into the way of thinking of the students here?
Well, that's a great question, and I think we approach it from multiple levels. Teaching ethics. So we have, as a part of the core curriculum for every single one of our graduate business programs, a required course in ethics. We also have in the full-time MBA program an ethics lab, in addition, that gives a chance for some practical experiential learning based on the principles and ethical frameworks that they learn in the program. But beyond that, we really try to inculcate ethical perspective across the curriculum, and particularly in the core courses, virtually every course, accounting, marketing, statistics, we think about and discuss the values and ethics of decisions and how ethical principles and challenges can be embedded. We always talk about, for example, people always say, oh, statistics, you can lie with statistics. So we'll take a case and we'll process that statistics case and look at how numbers are being used to maybe communicate the health of a business or to develop a decision around a business challenge. And then after talking about the mechanics of that case, we'll talk about the ethical considerations of utilizing data that maybe was drawn in a way that is technically correct but might lead to an incorrect conclusion. This is something I think is special about our program.
Give me an example of a fact pattern or a fact scenario that the students might have to consider.
Well, one of the cases, and they actually experienced this in the first week of class, actually even before class starts, we have what we call launch week. It's an orientation. And we give them a series of short cases around a mythical business program. And we engage them in discussing and reflecting on issues that business students are often faced with. And we position it as a marketing and branding case. And we talk about the impact on the university's brand of this mythical college. If a student accepts a job offer and then gets a better offer 2 weeks or 3 weeks later and then reneges on that first acceptance of an offer, then we talk about what happens if there's cheating in the class and a test gets out and is circulated amongst the students, and many students maybe use that test to improve their test scores. And we talk about the impact on the school's brand. We preach it from a marketing perspective, but then we take them back through that material and talk about, now, what happens to the reputation of the school if a recruiter comes to a school and in good faith interviews a number of candidates, finds a candidate that they want to have work for their company, extends an offer, and then turns that offer down because they got a few thousand more at another company. We understand what happens for that particular individual at that moment in time. Now they have a better paying job. But what happens to the reputation of the school? How does that recruiter going to feel about coming back to that school to recruit next year? What happens for the classmate in that person's class who maybe would have been considered for that job if they had the chance to compete for it, if that job hadn't been consumed by this person who then turned the opportunity down? To get them to think more broadly about their actions and how their behavior and their personal brand is tied to the brand of the university.
Thank you for joining us on The Spiwe Show. Visit thespiweshow.com for content and other episodes. Join the fan page at facebook.com/The Spiwe Show. And follow Spiwe on Twitter at the handle The Spiwe Show. Until next week, live well, live fully, and love